tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out in triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting, I'ma show them how I true it.
Just like I said, if you gonna allow your son to have his girlfriend over the house to watch movies at 16, you should allow your daughter to have her boyfriend over the house to watch movies at 16.
So fellas, a lot of scenarios been coming in lately when we put the call out about different things we could talk about. One interesting for us, kind of unique for us because between us we have 12 sons. James has one daughter. But we have a scenario that a sister sent in regarding the treatment of her male versus female teenage child in terms of parenting.
Oh,
right?
boy.
Talking about double standards.
Okay.
The teenage daughter, I'm gonna put it in short. The teenage daughter feels she's on lock, has a lot of rules that the teenage son just doesn't have. The mother feels she's torn because on the one hand, I want to protect my daughter. It's dangerous out here. It's vultures out here. On the other hand, I need my son to be independent. I need to learn him how to navigate. I don't have to worry about him as much. And she's caught in between with the daughter. So, you know, what does a parent do in a situation like that? You know, I know, James, I mean, I know your daughter is older and wasn't raised in the house with your son, but what does it make you think about having a daughter versus raising a son?
Well, I would probably draw from, or definitely I would have drawn from what the minister has taught with regards to our daughters and women. Whereas they're supposed to be protected, you know what I mean? And I think from a lecture I heard on Final Call Radio, and he said that when a man or somebody, you know, a stranger person that you may have at your home, being a male, shouldn't even see your wife or daughter. They should be kept hidden in the way from them and protected.
Y'all just gonna let him y'all just gonna let him say she gotta wear a burqa at home?
No.
Y'all just gonna do that?
Put in the cage.
Lock up. No. But with regards to protecting them, and basically the point I got from it was where the person has to be worthy of being able to either, you know, meet them and be introduced on that level and in that sense. So protecting them in that sense and to that degree with regards to, okay, is this person, you know, worthy of meeting my wife, my daughter, you know, if you will. So I took that. I would have taken that, you know.
James, man, you did not hide your daughter, bro.
For me.
Well,
nor your wife.
Unfortunately, with circumstances, I wasn't around to
cage
be able to
scenario
do
you're talking about.
Okay, no, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
Definitely not.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the approach I would have taken had things been different for me to have been more.
So you would have had
you'd
serious
have been more
double standards.
life.
So you'd have been more guarded around your daughter.
for
Is that what
sure.
you're saying? Because
Definitely.
what at some point the young man would have come up on bended knee, like I'm worthy to see your daughter, sir, dear sir.
I would have tried to work in, you know, some things reasonable, you know, to where you hear the stories why, you know, people, or especially sisters that are PCs or preachers' kids or PKs or whatever they call them, preachers on kids or what have you. So if you kind of guard them and shield them too much, it's just gonna, you know, end up to where they rebel.
You talking about my wife?
No, I don't know how she would
exactly. What is the stereotype about preachers' kids?
Whereas
anybody,
they be wilding once they get older and stuff. They wild out.
Preachers'
At
kids?
some point. I mean, that's the stereotype.
Y'all stamping that?
And why is that? Why is that?
because they probably been too guarded, don't have any exposure to the world.
But
as
brother,
they
you
say.
just said keep them
No,
in
the
the cage.
question is, do
and
you
now
agree? Y'all agree
But there
with
has
that?
to be a balance.
Agree
The
with.
preacher's children. We know. I'm
Well,
not asking
but
you
that
because
has traditionally been the
apparently they're hitting
stereotype.
on for you, so we're not even asking you
Yeah,
right now.
that's traditionally been the stereotype about
For
preachers'
sure.
kids. But I know my wife, she was constantly fed up with the double standard that existed in the house with, because her dad is the preacher. And not only that, her father was a preacher, but she had older parents. Okay, so now we talking like a generation apart, more than one. It's like 2 generations apart in terms of her parents and her siblings. So it was a real double standard. Like her brother Travis pretty much got to do whatever he wanted to do. You know what I mean?
He was the
Come
oldest.
and
Travis
go.
out of
No,
this.
Travis not even the oldest. Tracy the oldest.
Oh snap! Okay.
Tracy the oldest.
But he's the oldest boy.
He the oldest boy, and then
Okay.
Tim. But like Tracy always talk about how when it was time for her to go to the prom, Plu was like, "Look, you be in this house at 12 o'clock." He wasn't having none of that, right? He wasn't having none of that. And like she was pleading to stay out past. She always talk about all night long. She ain't never get a T-shirt because she couldn't
She
stay.
couldn't stay that late.
You know what I mean? When it was time for Travis to go to the prom, have a ball. Just have a good time. She like, wait a minute, where all them rules for Travis? Hey, it was, and he didn't make no apologies about it.
He was protecting her from all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because I was at all night long.
Well, he
so
fails.
like,
That's-
yeah,
No, I'm joking. I'm not.
So he was on that, and he ain't had no problems with it. But like for real, on the long term, I guess I maybe should ask her about it now. Do she feel like it protected her, or do she feel like it
It ain't do no good.
It did some good.
So
It is
it did
good.
work.
I feel like it did some good because that's why we married.
I almost wonder. Wonder if we can. And I'm being real semantic right here, right? But can we really call it? What is a double standard?
Hey, my
Because to
thing-
me, a
Yeah,
double
it's
standard
two
should
separate
mean
rules.
should be though for the same thing. A male and
Right.
a female teenager are not the same thing.
you took the words out of my mouth. Double standard innately means something is unfair, right?
Yeah.
So if a boy and a girl, male and a female, are different, right? And again, we're not talking about deficient. They're different, right? And so it's a dual standard, not a double standard.
Okay,
There's
I
no
hear
difference.
you.
might
What's
have
the distinction?
I
Make
may
the
have
distinction.
I have a standard for my oldest son that I didn't have for his younger brother until my younger brother reached a certain age.
Hold up, real quick.
So they may say it's a dual.
you're doing a
it's
great
it's
job.
A double
Hold on.
standard.
A set of principles that applies differently and usually more rigorously to one group of people or circumstances than to another,
That's double standard.
according to Webster. Yes, sir.
So a set of rules that apply differently.
What the Black Dictionary
To
say?
groups.
Exactly. Let's see.
So
No.
groups is a distinction.
Of course, yeah. Well, of course we did. Individuals and sisters.
No, I'm
versus
just
brothers,
saying,
something
yeah,
like that.
they're making so they're making it broad enough so what I'm saying doesn't work. You know
So
what I'm saying?
So
That's
I
interesting.
guess
What is
really-
bimetallism?
like,
My-
is everybody up
that's
here
something else.
okay with the double standard or the dual standard? We all okay with it?
I like
Yeah,
his
yeah,
change up. I like his change up of
Go ahead,
making
what were you
But
going with?
we
dual
can't. You can't
standard.
change the fact that this is how your daughter gonna feel about it though. Like she don't want to hear nothing about no dual and double. How he get to stay out past 12 and I can't stay out past 12? That's just that. That's not
Yeah.
okay.
Because my
I'm-
son may have to fight in the war, but I don't want my daughter to do that. Is that a double
But
standard?
they letting
So-
women
so
in the
people-
military now.
That
though.
is a
That
double
is true,
standard.
but that's
But
a double
I
standard.
mean, that's
them,
that's
but not
the-
necessarily him.
That's the average. That's the exception.
What? What's the
I
exception?
mean, they're letting women in the military now. They're not.
Oh, for
They
sure.
haven't
How many
started.
on the front
they
line?
haven't done like okay, you in frontline infantry, like you know what I'm saying.
Demi Moore, G.I. Jane. What you talking? No.
But
No,
is that not
so-
a double
so-
standard though?
It is a double standard
Right,
by definition.
Right, by definition.
but think about
Yeah.
whatever trauma or long-term trauma or how she may feel about the parents.
Well, if parenting in and of itself is an exercise in individualized development of an individual, like you're developing them based on their individual gifts, talents, needs, and you're modifying and making changes based on that. Then my son and my daughter, if I have one, have different needs. So in the same way that I explained to you, like, you know what? Yeah, your brother, he's going over there, but yeah, he can jump 6 feet. You can't. You do this though. You know.
Right.
So my
She
point
has a
is,
skill set
I
that
have
he
to
don't
explain to you that while there's a difference, you might not like it.
Okay,
You might
let
not
me ask you
You
this.
might not like it or accept it, but that's just what it is. In the same way, there's some things in my parenting of the daughter that she may end up with that he's not gonna get, the son, that he's gonna have to
Well, we're
accept.
gonna have
All
to
right,
come
well,
up with
but
some
go back,
examples.
go
then,
back.
too.
Like, okay, let's just say simple rule: be home at midnight.
Mhm.
Why she got to be home at midnight? Like for real? Why she got to be home at midnight?
Because it's late enough.
Because the rape statistics are higher for young girls getting raped around that time than there are for teenage boys his age.
So are you worried? You not worried about your son being a rape perpetrator?
A perpetrator?
Yeah.
No.
Why you out? Why you out late?
Oh,
You
clever,
out late?
Clever.
Why
Juan.
you might get in some stuff with a woman and because you out too
Statistics
late.
say jokers are
Statistics say
raping at this
who's
time.
gonna be the
so
rapist?
you-
I'm not-
right.
I'm not going to engage in deficit thinking about my children because otherwise,
You thinking about her?
I could say I could think about in this, but if I take your line of thinking, I could also then want to protect her and say, you know what, hoes are out at midnight too. I need to keep her. She might be a hoe. I need to keep her at home. So that logic doesn't work. That with your line of thinking
Well,
doesn't
listen,
work.
we trying to avoid something bad happening. That's what we trying to avoid.
But he's saying what you saying though. You
I'm saying
Why can't I think
What-
that
what
my
I'm
daughter
not-
is
the
responsible?
principle
her.
is I'm saying that I'm leveraging the law of probability and statistics about an event happening, and I'm making a choice based on that. The fact is, if I put her out there, just like if she wants to play tackle football in high school, right? There is a higher likelihood of her getting hurt than my son doing that, right?
That
So I
is
gotta
true.
explain to her, you can't do that. You can't do that. So, and it might hurt you that you can't do that, but that's just how society and life is.
I understand that, but
Okay.
that's not comparing apples to apples.
What-
It's really not, because that's a physical thing that we recognize. But what we trying to avoid when we tell our daughter to be home is I don't want something bad to happen to you. All right. Well, don't we want to avoid that with our son?
And
We
you
do.
saying,
But
and
we
you
may
saying-
not be
and I
worried
was saying-
about
and you're
him.
saying
We
for
do.
the son,
Right.
I don't want you doing something
We
bad.
may not be worried about him being physically raped or assaulted, but he could still be in a car with drunk drivers. He could still be.
He could.
With some, okay, so if something bad could happen for him
But-
after midnight as
But
well.
for the reason,
That's true.
reason why I want her home at that time, I did not make a distinction between those things that I could equally be worried about my son for. Yes, he could be in an accident, she could be an accident. He could be in the wrong place, she could be in the wrong place. Specifically in terms of sexual crimes in this society, the likelihood and my need to protect her weighs extremely heavily on that curfew for her in the society that we live in.
So you're saying you would
For
agree
that
with
specific
you
reason
saying
alone.
you would agree with have agreed with Plu, what you're saying.
What's that?
On the
I didn't say
curfew.
that. I didn't say the son could go do whatever he wants to do.
not whatever you want to do, but
We
basically
But he
just
can
started
stand up.
specifically on
basically
curfew.
come in later
and
than
I think you
the
can
daughter.
be wise. I think you can be wise and then let her enjoy all night long in a supervised way to let her do it that protects your need to want to secure her and protect her and also her need to participate.
I was about to
You know what I'm saying?
I was about to
Like,
bring
you
that
ain't
up.
have to say blanket rule, you in.
Well, why-
all
what-
night
what-
long till 3, it's a formal event. Yeah, you going to that. I mean, you know.
Well, why couldn't he consider having her brother make sure she was good and you know what I'm saying and stay, you know what I'm saying? I guess
Was you
to,
gonna watch your sister out there all
Yeah. This not
This
gonna work.
No,
It's not gonna work at all.
as
It's
far
not
as
gonna work
as far
because
as
he had
protection or what
a
have you.
case of Budweiser and 2 bottles of Boone Farm in his trunk. He had to make sure his sister get. Come on, man.
This ain't
Man, let's
working
be
right.
realistic.
See, he need to be in the house too.
Yeah,
Well,
Hey, And the number of ladies dwindle down after midnight, right? So now it's even more competition.
Oh my gosh! But
Wow.
I thought that would have been an easy fix, or at least something to. Well, I wouldn't say easy fix, but at least something to say. Well, okay, well you got to be in at the same. If you don't want to watch your sister, look after your sister, make sure she's good. You have to come in at the same time she does.
So you talking about the advice you would give now?
No.
as a
I'm
parent?
I'm saying if I was perhaps my line of thinking, if I was Tracy's dad at the time, and working that out between my children,
Yo,
for it to be fair,
To try to look fair.
to try to look fair,
The perception
to
of
try to
fair.
appear fair.
The perception. Why are you looking like that?
I don't even know who we talking to.
Oh,
Oh,
What do you mean, bro?
But he acted like he doesn't know what it's like to want to go out and be out for that night.
all
And you got
night.
playing with Joaquin and Talik and John, and then your mom said, "Hey, you gotta go watch it." Come on, bro. I mean, I'm just saying, just think
It's
about
not.
that.
Don't make it
being
seem
realistic.
as if it's like babysitting in the sense of watch.
That's how they
Lil'
feel.
Kevin gotta
If you're gonna be out, son,
But
or
Look.
go ahead.
No,
All
but
right.
check this out. For real though, when it was time to go to college, he sent Travis to JMU. He like, you need to go watch your sister.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Wow.
need to go watch your sister.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
he should have
but,
been
like,
thinking
he was
about
on
at
that.
the time
He
of
was on
prom and
that.
stuff. Then
Hey,
You
man.
know,
Again,
so
man.
like, yeah, that,
Different is not deficient. Okay, I don't have daughters, but if I got if I had a twin daughter and son, at 10 years old or whatever, my son might be cutting the grass. He might be chopping wood. You know what I mean?
you got her in the house washing dishes and ironing clothes.
Yeah.
Why is she doing
Now,
adult
hey.
stuff adults ought to be doing?
oh boy,
Oh, well, that's a whole.
Yeah,
that's
for
a-
real.
no, that could be.
And you know why you ain't outside cutting grass? It's your
Oh no,
yard.
I will cut it, but he's gonna know how to do it.
He can know how to cut it. My son ain't cut grass a day in his life. When he bought his house, he know how to cut grass. It ain't real complicated to cut grass.
Oh well, it's about learning to maintain what you have and take care
He
of
know how
what
to
you got.
do that in your
And-
realm. Maintain and take care of what's
Yeah.
going on in your realm. I don't need you doing nothing for that the
So
adults should be
honoring his,
doing.
honoring
Wait,
his
hold on.
genes
Are we
is
gonna
adult-
bring this
is
into
adult
this? Is this
conversation.
gonna be a
I
dual
don't think we should let it
subject?
happen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Well-
whole nother episode.
Oh yeah, that's something else. I don't
I don't
believe
know.
in
I think
I
it
don't
could be
believe
brought
in
in.
children doing all the stuff adults
You don't
supposed to
believe
be doing.
children learning how to take care of themselves.
No,
So when they
you can
turn
take care of
21,
yourself.
they just gonna snap and know how to be an adult.
No. You
Oh,
can
so
learn
you
how to
teach them
take care of
early.
yourself, but I'm not gonna give you my stuff to do. That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
how they gonna
I'm
learn
talking
then?
about dude, take care of their own stuff.
Now
They got enough
you're
stuff.
saying
It's
just
just-
take
it's
care
like
of
kids
your
got
But
enough
is that-
stuff
you
in
in
their
the
own
prison
world.
shit.
for your room.
I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna
Okay,
show you
yeah,
how
yeah.
to do it.
I'm saying, but that is, are y'all saying that this is double standards, or y'all done took the conversation
he'll
somewhere
have
else?
his 10-year-old daughter chopping wood and raking leaves
No, I
and stuff
wouldn't.
like that.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
Oh, he wouldn't have his son
he's
or
saying
daughter.
right. No.
Yeah, I
He's
wouldn't
saying
have my
that's
son or my daughter.
responsibility
Because
of the child,
if
of the
wood
parent.
need to be chopped, I'm supposed to be chopping it.
Or pay somebody?
Says who?
I said if wood need to be
No,
chopped.
says who?
But I think adults,
Says
You
the family
think
Robinson.
in my opinion,
What you're defining as what I don't think kids have to do, adults have to
Says
do.
Bear
You have
Grylls.
your own list of what adults should have to do versus kids.
now listen.
Other people have a different list.
Here's the list. Here's the list. If I got a household, all right, and I don't have any children, what are the things that need to be done in this house if I don't have any children? All right? That means somebody got to wash the dishes, somebody got to iron the clothes, somebody got to do all those things. Take care of the yard, cut the grass. If I don't have any children,
Mm-hmm.
when I have children, I'm not going to give them those things that I should have been doing or have been doing. I'm not going to give them those things to do. When I
Why
have
do you
children,
think people give them those things to do?
because they lazy and don't want to do it.
See, that's
And they disguise
see,
it as
see,
teaching lessons.
but
They
see,
disguise it as teaching.
That's your,
Listen,
but that's
just
your
take care of your
deficit
stuff.
thinking. It's back to you. It's back to you having deficit thinking about a negative perception of why they're doing something, as opposed to like what he's saying. Like, oh no, they just
You
disguise it as teaching.
You
lessons.
can't teach them the lesson by
you
letting
can- you can
them
do
do their own stuff.
you
Hey,
can do a
take
lot of
care of
things.
your room.
Listen,
Take care of your
listen.
Take care of your
and
stuff.
let me tell you why the analogy doesn't work either. Because the stuff I was doing before they got here, I got to do way more of it since they're here now. It's a whole nother level of responsibility once they're here in the flow of what I have to do as an adult.
And you
Now
made
that
the
they're on
choice to
scene.
have children.
I
And
did.
now you gonna got them doing all the
It's
stuff
not. No,
adults
it's
supposed to
about
be
my
doing.
philosophy and belief about how to evolve and develop them into responsible adults. Yours is, I'm going to do everything and wait till they're 21, then they can do everything. And I'll teach them in the microcosm and how they manage their space. Mine is you contribute to a larger community and function. There's no right or wrong. I'm not going to say yours is wrong. But that's not somebody being lazy and saying, go do all of
Well,
my
let me
shit.
say this. Let me say this.
Hold on a second. Let me say this.
All right.
I think I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but there's only a certain amount of understanding that they're gonna get operating in that small space.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's gonna be a whole lot of tools that they not gonna have because that little small space don't develop those tools, those tasks.
Okay.
And so when in your space and they go out somewhere, they're gonna be lacking a ton of things. In your space, if they go out, they're gonna be equipped with a ton of things.
See, but I think
disagree.
I mean, okay, all right.
Because I
I can
think the
tell
skill
how
you-
sets.
you-
I think
your
the
space.
skill-
What's in your bedroom?
I think it's the transferable skill.
What
I think
are
it's a
this? What's
transferable
in the
skill.
bed?
Like I don't. Yeah, obviously you don't. You
But it's
don't have
not.
to cut grass.
It's
I use a cut grass example.
you think it's a transferable skill,
Uh-huh.
but think about how many people we got in this world that don't know how to do a ton of things.
Yeah.
But they got skills that know how to they know how to do some things,
Yes.
but why they ain't not good or know how to do all things? It's a transferable skill.
Well, I mean, and me as the dad don't know how to do all things.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
I'm
how to
just
do all
saying.
things.
But I'm just it's some basic stuff that they might not know how to do.
All right. Well,
Just
let me
because they
let me
have
say it this
assignments
way.
does not mean that they're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. That's not saying you sitting there doing nothing and they running a household. No, you have chores, you have assignments. This is what I need you to do. This is what I'm gonna have. They're not doing everything, and I'm just sitting there watching TV. It's not that way.
It seems that way to me sometimes.
Well, what if some people would say, well, you got your kids working at a young age. They got all their life to work. Why don't you let them play?
I ain't have
Why
my
don't you?
kids working no jobs.
wait, hold on, real quick, all right, go ahead.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no
finish
job.
Finish your point. Finish your
Well,
point.
yeah,
real quick.
no, because you didn't want them to work a specific job, but you had them hustling tickets and stuff like that.
I'm teaching
for a
them to be
greater lesson.
entrepreneurs.
Oh, okay. Well, why couldn't they be kids and learn to be entrepreneurs when they turn 18?
They could have. They could have.
But why didn't you let them do that?
Because
Because you wanted them
if
to make their own money.
That's right.
But
Because
but
I'm
you ain't
teaching
want to
them-
spend money.
I'm teaching
It's
them.
their job.
I'm teaching them all that stuff you was
But
trying
someone
to
could
teach
say
about
you
cutting
being lazy,
grass.
not wanna
all
give
that
them
stuff
money.
you was teaching about cutting grass, I'm teaching it in entrepreneurship. So we teaching the same thing. I'm just not doing it with cutting grass and chopping wood.
So you're saying there are some adult things that you because I was about to ask what you thought about I've seen this family, an Asian family, right? On a Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm impressed in it and I appreciate what they're doing for their I think he's like 12 years old. He's what you order? You know
Order, bussing tables.
well, not well. You
in
know,
the kitchen.
it's probably maybe. I think they might be a family of 4 or 5 or whatever, right? Mom and daddy, older sister cooking or doing whatever. He taking the money or confirming the orders and blah 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 doing his thing. What do you think about that? Would that be?
Yeah, I like that.
Would that fall?
But
fall
it seems
in?
like a contradiction. But I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I like that.
but that then comes
Why
to
he
where
washing dishes? He
where
need to
you
be
having
back
your
there with the
exception
accountant.
is in that of entrepreneurship. Those adult things is okay. Is what you're saying.
Because I am trying to teach entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And so through me teaching that, I'm teaching the responsible, doing the smaller tasks, doing all of those things.
But your
In-
line
in-
of thought,
in-
why clean toilets? Why bust tables? Why wash dishes? No, you ain't gonna be doing that. You need to be back here understanding the marketing, the accounting. That's what you're saying. So why, if you had to use the restaurant analogy?
No, but I'm gonna teach them all that, from bussing tables to marketing and accounting.
Well,
I'm teach them all that.
what's wrong
well,
with
I
teaching
think,
them
well, I
cut
think,
grass
I think you're jumping in
weedy?
because I get what you're
If
saying.
you're
as well
agreeing with that analogy, I'm saying the
waiver.
equivalent of when we say chopping wood or cutting grass is busting the tables and washing dishes within the restaurant.
But he can come back and say.
No, he gonna be like, you ain't gonna be washing
no.
no
What he
dishes
probably
when you
say
go on business.
is
We
right
own this.
now.
You ain't gotta wash no
Right
dishes.
now, he's good at just a cashier in the front part. Then maybe at 15, he can do some of the other things that you're talking about because he's ready and he can evolve to learning those things, and he can put them on to him in the trajectory of his growth and development into adulthood. So maybe from during to what right now, that's what he's allowing him to do.
I see those tasks.
We had
as,
a previous. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No. I mean, I just see if I'm teaching it, I'm teaching entrepreneurship to my son, and in teaching him that, it's all about being responsible, being accountable. But I'm doing it in the context. I'm not teaching him to be responsible because I don't want to wash dishes. And that's my
That's
whole
your
point.
point.
I think a lot of parents do give the kids stuff to do that they don't want to do.
That's why I really wanted you to get your
I
trauma
believe
out.
it.
I really wanted you to get your trauma out.
I believe that,
I really wanted to get your trauma out. You foolish, yo.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm listening to both, but at the same time, there are a hefty amount of people who do use their kids in those, because they lazy to do the task. Hey, definitely. But at the same
Them the
time,
people I'm talking about.
Right.
Do these now? Does that cross socioeconomic lines and whatnot? Is it like? Do you
Of
think?
course,
do you think
yeah. Because
poorer people have that attitude
because
versus
when mama
those who are not?
when mama got 2-3 jobs and stuff at the house got to be done. So
you gotta
yeah,
grow up
absolutely.
fast.
It's a difference.
Absolutely.
It's a difference
and
between
you lose your childhood because you got to be grown
Right.
at 11, 12 years old because mom and daddy working or mama working.
You said that's okay though.
It's
Or
not.
no?
It's not okay. But that's what has to be
That's
done.
what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's the difference between your 10-year-old knowing how to make a grilled cheese sandwich versus having to make that for dinner.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm
got to
saying?
cook for brothers and sisters.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, and got to cook for brothers and sisters.
What's I mean? Wait.
So
Okay, go ahead.
no. So I mean, to go back to the double standard in the household, you gonna make your daughter do the cooking and your son cut the grass, or you gonna have your son cooking and got your daughter outside
I'm
cutting the
trying
grass?
to give my son all the heavy, hard, digging holes, all that hard labor. Absolutely. I don't want my daughter doing that. And then
Why not?
because she's not built for that.
You know,
I'm not-
why can't she be?
Oh, she could. She could. If
Yeah,
that's
why
something
can't
that
she
she aspires
So
to
he
do.
ain't supposed to cook?
No, he can learn how to cook.
Well, why don't you got him inside cooking?
I'm gonna get in on that one, right? What I'm gonna say about that is it boils down to biology and all of that stuff, right?
Okay.
We animals, right?
Yes, sir.
We live in a universe.
Of the highest order, yes.
We
Yeah.
humans,
operates-
man. We ain't no animals.
Brother,
It's a human
if
is
you
still
break
an
it down,
animal.
there's the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom. We're the highest of the animal kingdom, bro.
Thank you, man.
All right, whatever.
He didn't go to that, what they call it, genus and all that
Right,
stuff.
species and
He
all of
didn't
that,
go-
yeah.
He did. Who was the teacher? He didn't go.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention. I saw the little diagrams. Right.
We're mammals.
Yeah, that too. But anyway,
Blessings. To all of our businesses who are interested in advertising, we have great affordable rates. And if you'd like to advertise on our B2M Crew podcast, please reach out to us at b2mcrew5@gmail.com.
But anyway, we live in this universe that operates according to a law. And so then we have people, and so we're born into communities of people. And in order for communities of people to function, they come up with rules and values
and
and
right-
systems
Morals.
so that they can function in an orderly way. You know what I mean? And keep everybody operating in an orderly fashion. I didn't create it. I didn't do it.
Right.
I didn't design the body to make it so my son is better at cutting grass than my daughter would be, right? Or better at digging a ditch or carrying a 50-pound rock. I didn't do it. Nature made him that way, right? Society made it so that we have these traditional rules and values that we operate from. So the bottom line is, yes, my daughter could technically learn how to be a lawn landscaper and learn these physical tasks that men do. But the fact is, we live in a world where society has dictated a lot of pathways and structures that I'm not going to try to overcome by myself, right? And some of them I'm going to resist and show her insight that you end up showing some extreme interest in grass for some reason. After I let you do the traditional stuff and you just want to cut grass so bad, apparently you're going to have a landscaping business. So let's go.
Right.
But beyond that, I'm gonna allow them to do things that are more traditionally suited for pathways that generally reflect their biology and systems that I'm comfortable with accepting them operating in the world. I mean, and that might not be right, but that's my response to why does the boy do something that the girl doesn't do? I know it's a long response.
So ultimately, what we saying here, what y'all saying here, I guess we all saying, is that it's okay to have a double standard.
I've been said it.
Yeah.
I like JG's
I like
change
dual.
of it of dual. Say dual
Yeah,
standard.
Dual standard.
I mean, again, do you have a different standard for your 16-year-old versus his 8-year-old brother? You know what I mean? I'm gonna have both of them doing
sure.
Exactly. So I mean, it's not.
But
But is it
But
gonna
it's
be
not-
different when they
The problem
both
that
get
there's a difference
16?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to
It's gonna be
say.
the same when they're 16.
Yeah.
problem
so that
there's
ain't
a
dual,
standard
that's
is the
just different
problem that it's
ages.
like all
Okay.
or nothing. Like the son can do everything, and the daughter
Right.
can't do anything.
What can the daughter do the son can't do though?
Man,
Right. Silence. Crickets.
Give birth.
Y'all crickets. That's the problem.
You say what now?
What can the daughter do that the son can't do?
You talking about out in the
Since-
worldly stuff?
Oh,
I mean, you
you're
got- if you
saying
got a
that the son
teenage
is
Why
not
do
allowed.
you have
You're saying that the
double
son is
She
not
can
allowed
have-
to do.
She can have the credit card.
Oh, that would be
Now that
that'd
she
be worse.
responsible.
You don't want to give it to your son.
No, you don't want to give it to your daughter. She go
goes
spending
shopping.
on there. Oh,
Nah,
please.
but she will responsibly do with it what you tell her to
No,
do.
but we're gonna have to think about that one though. What
Yeah,
can the
just
daughter
it's
do?
what
based
can
on
the
your
daughter
daughter.
do?
All right, let me
What
ask
the
you
son
something.
Hey, that
can't do?
depend on their
leave
mama.
your-
Y'all make the
look,
Yeah, it
would you
depend
leave
on the
your
mama.
son- look, would you leave your son? I mean, let's say generally speaking, not us. Would people generally leave their 17-year-old son or daughter with a credit card to pay 7 bills and make 8 phone calls?
No.
Me? I mean, I can't.
I know you would, but
Yeah, I would.
you would.
Yeah.
But I said, generally speaking,
Yeah,
what would the general perception in society be?
The daughter is more responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
So while you're gone, you
excuse
do this, you do all the trash. People would say that. Now we don't look at that
That's
though
a
and
double
say,
standard.
hey,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
double standard. Why did you let him manage the finances while we were gone?
right.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's real. No, I'm just saying from the daughter's perspective. Since we make a distinction, as there's a difference.
Baby, I love you so much.
What can she do that he
Baby,
What
can't
I
is it?
do?
love
Yeah,
you
what is
so
it
much,
that you
I gotta
allow her to
keep
do
you
that you
in
don't
the
let the brother do or whatever?
We can't come up with nothing.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
Because the
without
double
time-
standard,
but
the
hold
double
on.
standard always is harmful to the female. That's my point.
It is. You know
And
why?
that's the problem.
Because
It's always
this
harmful to
society
the
is
female.
so disrespectfully violent towards the female.
So ultimately,
That could be from either parent though. Could.
Elaborate.
So do
I'm
you
just saying if the mother might have double standards for a daughter or son as well.
So do you think that, okay, since you feel so adamant about that subject, do you think that has created certain things in society with like women not being paid as much as men or what have you, or what are the other things that they gripe
all of it.
about?
That's why they
as
pay
far
him
as-
more.
as far as
Hey, he got a
equality.
family to take care of. I heard Oprah telling that story the other day
Mhm.
when she went to her boss and was like, "We doing the same job. Why is he making more money than me?"
Mhm.
And their boss said, "Because he got a family to take care of. It's just you, Oprah." You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that it's that mindset that contributes to all of these things we talking about. Women being paid less, women having less opportunity. This is the male mindset that's contributing to those deficiencies that exist between men and women. And that's why
Yeah.
we gotta guard against that. So when I say, what can the daughter do? We make the distinction. It's dual standards. Okay, well, what can she do that he can't do?
Well,
All right,
Nothing.
but you make an excellent point, but at the same time, I'm gonna make a distinction between career pathways and all this other stuff we talking about, and me managing the safety and time of a teenager, and while they're in
But
my
I'm
home.
saying that
Do you
mindset
understand what I'm saying?
contributes to those things down the road. This is the
Right,
mindset that contributes to
in
that.
their realities though, like Oprah now will speak up and tell young women, hey, you got to know going into this that there's a different game than La La Land and what you might think it is as a female. You're gonna have to do some different things.
And I promise she getting paid more than them.
So
All of them at this point.
So my point is, yeah, it's not pretty, but there are some differences that exist that just have to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? And we're not promoting them, and we fight them at every turn. Like, I wish young ladies could walk down the street and walk their puppy at midnight without being fear of being sexually attacked. I wish they could. I wish there were more protections for women and for females. I wish they could. And I wish we were less reckless with our sons. I wish we were. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna make apologies for the fact that we need to take some extra precautions to make sure our women and girls are protected.
I agree
against
with
this violent
everything
world.
you're saying. The problem is the girls, and you hanging it on safety and protection, but you protecting them from the boys we raising.
So again,
They the
That's true.
problem.
That's true.
They the problem.
That's true.
That's what the girls got. That's who the girl got to worry about being date raped by.
Yeah, but you know what?
That's the problem.
But I can't, in the situation of me and my home, I can't manage them, right?
No.
Society-wise, we got a larger issue to discuss. But in
Right.
my home, I'm managing the
Yeah,
ones.
we are.
obviously,
You mean
yeah,
we are
obviously.
managing them boys at home?
Yeah,
are
we
managing
not
those
worried about
guys.
our sons
And-
specifically.
In regard using the 12 o'clock midnight analogy, I tell my boys this: ain't nothing good happening after midnight, and we talked about that. Now I know when they young, go to college, they want to stay out.
The difference
2, 3,
is
4,
would you
whatever.
they'll make your daughter come home and your girls and your son can stay.
Again, I don't have a daughter, but however,
Would you?
hold on. However, I've had situations. My son just graduated high school, where his curfew was still always midnight, and he broke it a couple times, and he had his consequences. So I tell him the same thing. If it ain't happening before midnight, it's probably not gonna happen. Now, just like if I had a daughter and she was in college, I can't control what time she come and go, but I would say the same thing.
So when your
You know
son
what I
come
mean?
home for winter break, is his curfew midnight?
Oh yeah, probably, maybe.
Okay.
We'll talk about
When you're a
it.
I know,
sophomore,
but
is it
we're
midnight?
being real easy with this, talking about a double standard about a curfew.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, okay, you got 2 teenagers dating, and can your son, can he go over to the girlfriend's house when her parents not home, and versus can they, can your daughter do stuff like that? That's the type of stuff that's going on that they see the real discrepancy.
He can go spend the night. She can't even have a boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. That's how bad the standard
That's how
is.
bad it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
managing
Hypocrisy.
the time alone with her. Can she ride in the car with him versus can he ride in the car with people?
I mean,
And
even
those little day-to-day things that are popping up.
even for my son, man, I wasn't the type of parent that really wanted him to spend the night over friends'
Anybody's
houses and
spot,
stuff
right.
like that. I mean, he have, but I wasn't one of those parents that will promote that. It's just so much.
So it would be the same if you had a son and a daughter.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. You ain't wasn't letting your son do it either.
That's what it
I-
sounds
yeah,
like
I
y'all
wasn't-
trying to do,
I
right?
wasn't-
Jay, would this be accurate to say that y'all agree to have the same standard for both male and female children?
I mean, we want to have the same value system, the same morals, etc. Again, maybe how about looking at it this way? Maybe we value our daughter more if we protect her more than our son. You can look at it at that angle, right?
But we know that's not true.
Why not? Hey, look, what the old cat said, when you got a boy, you got to worry about one dick. When you got a daughter, you got to worry about millions of dicks out there, right? So what y'all think about that? I mean, that's not cool to say these days. But hey, when you love something and value it, you're probably gonna protect it more. As simple as that. I mean, like Corey said, the analogy: do you send your wife, if you're out of town and you hungry and it's midnight or 1 a.m., do you send her out to go get something to eat?
Well,
or
you know what?
Get it?
That kind of goes.
If it's equal, why don't you send her out to go get?
That kind of speaks to what I said
Once
earlier,
again,
in
we
the
back
beginning.
to safety.
No, it speaks to what I said in the beginning of what I said with regards to protecting wife and
No, you
daughter,
say hide 'em.
almost like almost like
No.
almost like jewelry or
But
precious
listen,
gems
okay,
or
listen,
something. You
let
know
me
what I
say
mean?
No
this,
one
let me
is
say
for a
this,
double
for real,
standard. When you talk
for real.
about paying, if you're a teacher, attorney, etc., no one is saying this person should get paid more than this person. We're all for equity
for sure.
when you do the same type of work. Now, if you want to make an argument about the WNBA versus the NBA, that's different, I'll say, because you don't have 30,000 people filling up WNBA arenas.
Right.
The TV companies, commercials aren't paying for that. So now, is that a double standard or not? It's no different. Serena make more than a whole lot of men tennis players because she's a draw. She's an attraction, right? So anyway, those are a little bit different.
Are you trying to say that WNBA players don't have a good argument about?
No, if you don't, this
the
is a business.
finances that they
If you do not
take
bring in,
advantage?
that's right. If you don't bring in the revenue that the NBA teams do through TV rights, the number of ticket sales,
How they gonna bring in the revenue if you don't go to the games?
you need to ask women that. Them stadiums
So
should be full of women.
Why don't you support women basketball?
I'm not complaining
I think
about
I
it.
think I heard. I think I heard them say that too.
Support women
Somebody said
basketball and buy
that.
the
They ain't putting
jerseys
them. They ain't
and
putting the
buy
money
hats and
behind
Go
them.
get your beer.
Hey,
and
I can't
popcorn and
afford
go
the
to
men's
games.
games.
That's not the responsibility. That's right. That's the men.
Listen, man.
That's how the NBA thrives because the men do that on their part. So it's the women that need to do
So
that.
you can't just support it for the fact that you support the cause.
Hey,
Just as there are a few
So
women
they
that
can't. The women
that
are struggling. They don't have good business. Let them figure it out. That's what y'all saying.
no, the women.
That's the mindset
the women
right
need
there.
to
I'm
get
talking
no.
about. That's the mindset.
I agree with that. Where the women need to go ahead and get and support the WNBA as the men do the NBA.
Hey, it's no different.
And like you said, that would and it would help it be commensurate to what they're drawing
man.
out for fans and everything, and then they can get up their pay.
And on
Shaq said they need to lower the rim. No, he said the only difference in the games is the dunking. Other than that, you're going to see people get crossed up and jumping.
It's no different than-
That's a good point,
on
too,
the,
though.
on
I
the
think
collegiate
that would be
level,
dope.
if you didn't have football or some cases men's basketball, they pay for the field hockey.
But
They pay for the diving team, the men's swimming team as well. They're not revenue producing sports. So what? That's not.
But why
that's a
don't
double
y'all
stand-
support them? Why don't you support those? Are you trying to say they aren't exciting?
Hey, I don't support baseball either. So, yeah.
Why don't
Now,
you support baseball?
I think. Let me just say this. I think.
Yeah,
Y'all can't
I
say
think-
it's not exciting. Y'all just don't want to say that watching the women's professional sport is not as exciting, so people don't buy tickets. Y'all don't want to say that?
That's true.
I'm not gonna say that because I just had a fantastic time watching LSU.
Now,
Play.
listen, I was gonna say
Yeah.
nothing was more
I
exciting
would
than
say
women's college basketball.
that was off the chain.
March Madness,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Nothing
and
more
I'm
exciting.
looking forward to it this year.
Right, and it brought you to the game.
Absolutely.
But did it bring you close enough to go buy a Mystics ticket?
I will say that if what's her name, Caitlin? Was it Caitlin?
See, you don't know her name.
Yeah, Caitlin or the girl from LSU, Angel Reese. If they were coming, if they were playing
Angel Reese,
Caitlin and Angel Reese, if they were playing UVA, I would be at the game. I would buy a ticket. Absolutely.
you
I
would buy a
ticket.
college ticket. You would do that one. You know
I
what?
mean, because that's what
I would do that minority a favor.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, Black.
I'm supporting the product. I think.
Hey.
Let me just say this: when it comes to double standards, I think it's an easy cop out to always lay it as safety and security, because there are a lot of double standards that are existing with the boys and the girls that go beyond safety and security. That's what I'm talking about. So when she wouldn't be safe, I'm worried about somebody. That's easy. Okay, I'll give you that. But what about the double standards that exist for the boys and the girls that safety ain't got nothing to do with?
Like,
Oh, go ahead. What?
No. I got a double step. I was just thinking about. I was like, man, and it's weird, right? I cut my own hair, right, bald hair, right.
What hair?
But I will have. I don't know, and I probably can't even answer the question. but I wouldn't want no female cutting my hair.
You ain't got no hair.
I said,
even cutting bald,
I said it. Yeah.
even if it's cutting in bald.
When you had hair.
Yeah, I
Hey,
wouldn't
how
want
about
a
this?
female cut
How
my
about
hair.
this?
See, now you a
Why
chauvinist.
male
No,
dancers?
that's weird.
Past
No.
double standard.
Why male strippers ain't getting paid as like female strippers?
No, whoa.
How you know they not, bro?
How you know what?
I watched
Oh,
I watched all the Queen's Men. No, them niggas keep getting paid. No,
No. I want to go back. I gotta help. Talik, I want to understand. Whoa, hold on now. So you said you don't like a female cutting your hair. There's
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah.
Now, and Joaquin said he was chauvinist, right?
Yeah, I said we
Why
passed
can't
double
there
standard.
just
We
be
in the
a
chauvinist.
preference?
Right.
Oh, I need to understand why is that?
Because
would that be?
why a woman can't
What
do a
about
great
my
job
son?
of cutting his
What
hair?
about my
I didn't-
son's situation? Do you like massages?
Oh, I was about to say. Now that's what I was
Do
about to
you
say.
like massages?
I like.
For me?
I don't
Yeah.
want no dude
I've
massaging me.
never-
I know
Okay.
that. I'd
What
prefer
did you
a
hear my
woman.
son's story?
No,
Yeah.
I
He
don't
went to
mean
get a
that.
massage and they switched it up and brought a dude out at the end.
No, I didn't hear this
What
story.
happened? What did he say? What happened? What did he do?
He said he just felt
He ain't speak up?
no.
Oh hell.
Wait till we see him.
He's like, no,
Oh hell.
no.
Hey, everybody in the house was like, "You what?"
Hey. See, that's the
I
other
would've
thing.
left.
Like, I
But
get
look,
massages.
He was saying, and he's mature. He's the one always bringing me back. Saying, "Hey man, you can't say that. You can't say this word no more and all of that. Politically correct."
Easy.
He was like, "Man, I was just like,
Did he-
the massage." He went in there with a group of people.
But he ain't
He
say
did
that
a
was the
whole-
best massage he
did
ever
a
had,
whole,
did he?
Shout out to follow at Miracle. At a Miracle, got jokes on IG. He has a whole stand-up routine about it.
Oh,
Oh,
His
wow.
massage
Did he put that out there? I didn't
With
see
a
that.
guy.
Did I see that?
But
His daddy
but
putting it
think
out
about
there.
that.
Ain't
Yeah, everybody, me and his
I
brothers
hope
was
he put it
all
out
like,
there.
no, that's a no. But that's the point. But
But chill,
to
you
this,
get massage.
back to this double standard.
And they all from women.
So he wanted you don't want to
Chill, you
cut in
said,
your head.
what about your
but she can
pastor?
rub your
Huh?
head.
What's that? Hey.
You
stupid.
She can't cut your head, but she can rub your head.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
That's-
you,
But help me
Hey.
understand why though, chill. Especially if you're keeping the ball.
Bro, nah.
what?
Hey man, it's just
Why don't you?
Did I tell y'all I probably can't explain why? It's just the preference.
I get it. I understand you. I understand that.
Yeah, you getting a
But
fade and
like-
nothing. Just
chill,
just
what
cutting it
about
all
your
off.
preacher?
Now,
want a
if a
woman
female
preacher?
cut John hair, I said, man, wow, man. I said,
He said, wow.
wow, man. Damn, nice cut, bro.
She put that in
Nice
there.
cut, right?
She put that fade in there.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't think she's qualified. So please don't get that.
Right.
That's just the preference. Because females do great work.
She
So I
can't
don't.
give you a slick ball head like a man.
Nah.
So, but
You
Joaquin
don't
could.
trust a
But
woman
look,
with a razor.
back to
What
my
I'm
point though. Could a man give you a massage?
Could a man give me a massage?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a massage from a woman. I ain't never
You
had.
That ain't what we
He
said.
ain't
That ain't got
What?
nothing to do with that.
I ain't never had a massage before.
because your
Answer
wife is
the
white.
question.
No, I'm just joking. She's the only
you
one
have
that
had
can
a
do it.
You
massage.
never gotten a massage?
He
from
said-
a
You hadn't
woman?
got a
I've
full
never-
body.
Would you
talking
allow
about
a
a
man
legal-
to massage you?
What?
Would you let you heard me? Double standard.
No, sir, bro. No, I ain't.
Oh.
I ain't letting no
Why?
man
You
massage.
don't feel
that.
safe and secure?
No, I don't feel safe.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's okay. Look, if I get a massage from my wife, all right, that's what I'm accustomed to and I'm used to. So if I was to get treated,
He gonna be too rough.
it's just not cool. That's just like nah.
You don't come
And
back
so that's much more appreciated, you know. And if my wife felt the same way, I wouldn't be upset about that either. If she wanted to do, if she's used to my magic.
But
fingers.
you attach a
and
massage
hands.
to a sexual experience.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No,
If
dude.
he can't rub you, I mean,
It don't even sound cool talking about it. He can't rub you. That don't even sound cool. But
but the joking about it though brings back to the double standard. It's about you mentioned a great point, Joaquin. You said when it comes to the issues of safety and security, it's cut and dry. We can all
It's
agree.
easy.
Yeah, we want women to be safe. We want them to we would take precautions to do that. It's in some other spaces, right, where it comes up to this stuff we talk about now, which is our own sexual preferences, for example, or ideas.
Or
You understand
like,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, but my 16-year-old son can have his female friend to the house, and they watch movies, in the living room.
Because it's toxic. Because little boys supposed to be sowing their royal oats. I'm just
right. We on that toxic masculinity
that's
stuff.
what, right, exactly.
So
yeah.
that's my whole point. These are the mentalities that produce the toxic masculinity, that produce the disparities between men and women in the workplace later on down the road. These are the seeds. These thoughts are the seeds that produce those outcomes later on in life.
Are men and
that's
women
why I'm
different?
saying we gotta. Of course they're different.
Okay.
Of course they're different. But just like I said, if you gonna allow your son to have his girlfriend over the house to watch movies at 16, you should allow your daughter to have her boyfriend over the house to watch movies at 16.
She ain't supposed to have no boyfriend.
Right. That's that's what I'm talking about. That's the issue. Like, she can't even have a boyfriend.
But can
your
he?
son,
But he can. Or no?
He can have a boyfriend if he
No.
wants to.
Hey,
No,
hey, but
can he
these are
have a
double
girlfriend?
standards,
What about
right?
this? What
Hold on a
about
second.
that?
Hold
What
on.
about that?
These are
Stupid
double
if he want
standards,
to.
right? You, if it was somebody that was in the high profile, celebrity, wealthy, then maybe my daughter can have a friend over the house.
Oh, see,
know,
now
I'm
you
just saying-
breeding that.
No, I'm just saying.
You talking about
I'm not saying
hyperbole.
me personally. I'm just saying someone would take that stance.
They
Say
might.
I don't.
Nah. I mean,
lost that
again,
part.
man, I think going back to as far as in the workplace, we all want equal pay, equal opportunity. No one's going to disagree
But why
with
doesn't
that.
it? Why is it not there? And what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
think
the
we
reason
all-
that doesn't exist is because of these mentalities by the men. That's what I'm saying.
I think
Starting
we
in
all feel
the
like we have to
household, is what you're
protect our
saying.
young men just like we got to protect our daughters.
No, we don't. We don't feel that way.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yeah.
We let our sons get away with way more than we would let our daughters get away with, and we know it.
We want our son to be strong men, to be protectors, providers, and to be
Yeah,
respectful.
we
We
want
got
them
to
to do
find a
that.
way to get to the balance you're talking about without compromising the elements of security that's realities that we want to respond to.
Yeah, because
Because there still is value in living in a world where they aren't protected, to make sure we're taking precautions with our girls. You understand what I'm saying? But there's also ways to push the envelope on girls getting opportunities and knock down some ignorant thought patterns that have held them back for no reason. You know what I'm saying? But it's a balance, but we got to figure it out. You know?
I don't. I mean, I wish I had the answer,
Yeah.
but the purpose of this conversation is so that parents that have a situation where they're raising sons and daughters, the purpose of this conversation is to just be aware. I think a lot of times we make these decisions about our kids, on what you can do and what you can do and what you can't do. And I think a lot of times parents don't even put a whole lot of thought into it.
right, because that's how they
because
grew
just
up.
always default to, I got to protect my daughter. You know what I mean?
Never
And
let
so
them see you as being unjust or randomly making ignorant
that's
decisions.
the quickest way to lose your kids,
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
feel like you're unjust or you're a hypocrite.
Right.
That's how you
Right,
can lose them.
right.
And so now the daughter who couldn't do nothing, oh boy, they waiting for her freshman year orientation weekend. They waiting on her.
Now,
See?
I'm not
'Cause she
saying
ain't
that, but you
prepared.
just said something
She ain't
about,
prepared.
you said hypocrite. Now, mama, what you do? When you tell her she can't do X, Y, and Z, and the son can do X, Y, and Z, and you doing X, Y, and Z, but the daughter better not do X, Y, and Z.
So okay, so you're saying that the women have a part to play in that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, what are you modeling?
In
Does she
the
see you
in the double standard.
spending the night or bringing a strange man to spend the night? While and letting the son do whatever he want to do, but you got her on lock?
Well, you're right. That does come from both sides, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
A little bit of the
Absolutely,
double
yeah,
standard.
for sure.
Sides. And one of the other things too, regarding talking about protecting my son. I went through a divorce, so my son, even though I got 50-50 custody, 50% of the time he wasn't with me. So I had to really
Reinforcing.
I couldn't control that environment, right? But I had to let my presence still be felt, that I was right there. You know what I mean? And so again, that's just another level of, again, protecting my boys, just like I would protect my daughter.
So what advice do we have? People dealing with the issue. Go ahead.
Would you raise your son to protect her girl, protect his lady?
Of course.
Why? Why she need all that
That's
protection?
his job.
That's not. She can't protect herself.
No, but when you
That's
take
a
on a
double
wife,
standard.
that's your job.
No, she
he
can
said
take care of herself.
He didn't
to
say
protect her.
wife. He said
When you
dating.
dating. If you take her on as a girlfriend, it's your responsibility to protect
But what
her.
if she got a mouth that's out of pocket?
Then she shouldn't be your girlfriend.
But that
Yeah, and you
she's
got
an
you
independent,
got
strong
terrible judgment when it comes to
well,
choosing
just
a
so
woman.
happens
not-
she is his
She don't
girlfriend.
Well,
need
then
you to
if-
patronize her.
because
in fact-
those happen.
If in fact my son chooses a woman that got a whole lot of mouth
right,
and that's going to make him vulnerable, if that's the case,
yeah.
then I'm gonna have to tell my wife to be prepared for our son to get hurt in the streets.
Why?
Because she's gonna put him in a compromising situation more than one time.
Won't
And so my wife need to be prepared that something may happen to her son out here because he's chose a woman that he's not able to protect. You can't protect her if she yapping off at the mouth. How many times we done seen videos?
But that's the whole
of
argument you've been
dudes-
making about protection.
That's what I'm
Why
saying.
she need protection? Well, she good.
So
Why you need to patronize to her?
if she
She can chop wood and cut grass. Why she need you to protect her?
I'm not saying she don't need protection. She does need protection. And I don't think that's a double standard.
Oh, it is.
look,
Yeah, how's that a
If-
double
if-
standard?
The
if-
whole argument was
if-
about the
if
protection.
your son dating a girl that got a lot of mouth, and she running her mouth, and you done told him your duty is to protect. Why when she start running her mouth, why don't he just walk off? Why don't you teach him
No,
that?
why she can't protect him?
These two don't
Oh,
understand.
y'all really asking me this?
Hey,
Are y'all really
I'm
asking
talking
me
about
this?
double standards.
But
We
her
talking
not
about double
having a lot of
standards.
mouth is the way to protect him.
Thank you, James.
Okay, so
I
she-
just saying-
Thank
she
you,
protect-
James.
I'm
That's how
not
you
gonna-
protect your husband. Come on, baby.
Stop
Let's
running
go.
your damn mouth.
That's right.
Shut up. Nah. Be controlled.
You don't
'Cause
tell
they-
me
Hey,
to
wasn't
shut
that
up.
said before?
You cannot
Black
protect that which you cannot
control. There we go.
So that's so.
So,
We
so
said
if
another
he don't have
episode,
no
right?
ability.
So now,
So-
now
so-
you need to control your wife, is what I hear you saying.
There are moments in the same way I'm trying to control my kids.
I'm just that's a double standard.
That's not a double
So
standard.
now women
How is that a
children.
double standard?
Just going
Because
down
you
the
Because
damn
you have a
rabbit hole.
made the whole
responsibility to
argument
protect
about
your woman.
protecting our daughters, and that's not good. But then you're saying you should do that for your wife.
When did I say that wasn't good?
You should say, and that's the only argument that we're making as far as protecting our daughters.
I said that's the cop-out argument. I said that's a cop-out argument.
Not to
because
have
we
equality
all
for-
agree
in
that the
raising-
women need protection.
All right, man.
But I said, what about the times when
Gentlemen,
security
gentlemen,
is
gentlemen,
not
gentlemen.
at issue? If
Yeah,
security
yeah,
is not
yeah,
an
yeah,
issue.
yeah. I bring. I read from the transcript. What has actually transpired today is Joaquin made an argument at first that people were giving children the task out of being lazy, and that we as parents were doing some of these things, even relating it back to the double standard, out of unethical reasons, not out of the safety and security side. But most people default to saying it's about safety and security, but a lot of times it's really about some ignorant other stuff. So he conceded with us on the biological argument about security and safety
Correct.
and all of that. His point is, beyond that, there are some areas where we still say it's safety and security, but it's really not. It's really just an issue of fairness between the two genders.
Yeah.
Right.
Did I
That's-
capture that right?
That was exactly right.
Okay.
And that's why I use the example of 16-year-old at the house watching movie.
Right.
That's why I use that example, because that's not an issue of safety and security when they're in your home. But
Yeah.
there are parents that will allow their son to do that and not their daughter.
That's
You know,
true.
and so the whole point of the conversation is, for parents to be mindful when they're in moments where these types of decisions have to be made, to just take a moment to think about how to best be just and how to best be judicious in distributing whatever, opportunities or whatever there is.
Task, opportunity,
ex-
curfew,
Be
exactly.
mindful. I
whatever it might
heard.
Just be
Let me
mindful.
break it down. I heard. Be mindful. Be just
Yes,
in your decisions. Be consistent,
absolutely.
right? And communicate at all times. Because even at the end of the day, I think if when we earnestly do something as parents, and we might be wrong, but we follow the consistent, earnest pathway, and we communicated, and we weren't angry, and it wasn't ignorant, then even if our children don't agree, they respect us. And we
Bingo.
can maintain that level of getting compliance, sometimes out of respect, even when they don't agree with us, as opposed to them saying, well, you know what? They go to bed at 9 o'clock anyway.
I'm gonna crawl out the window. Right, exactly.
And remember, I didn't hear you say this, but we're here at the Code Building, Center of Developing Entrepreneurs, giving a shout out as always for such a great space for us to do our thing. So hey,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's B2M Crew wrapping it up on the topic, talking about
from boys to
double
men.
standards, boys to men, friends for over 40 years, chopping it up, having some conversations about how we reared our 12 sons out of 13 total children. Joaquin, you got something to take us out on?
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Peace.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office cause I tell them.